Futebol, as the Brazilians would call it, is a funny old game. These are two matches that happened in the Champions League today, although I'm sure I only put one of them, or who the hell knows what made it onto the thumbnail. Whatever I was feeling, whatever I was in the mood for, whatever flavor of ice cream I was wolfing down. But yeah, with the two Champions League games we're going over, and they both ended up with the exact same score. But I don't know if they could have been that much different, because there's like four very distinct feelings that are going around. I'm going to start with PSG Liverpool, right? And the distinct feelings in this particular game are that PSG is feeling like, man, we could have ended it. Could have been over. PSG ran this game, right? There were spells where Liverpool was like, okay, and then there were spells where they weren't. Ousmane Dembele had all sorts of looks at the goal, including one really obvious chance that he just completely whiffed at. Kvaratskhelia played fantastic. He scored the second goal for PSG. I mean, the first goal was a little lucky, but PSG was on them like white on rice. This is what it looks like when PSG plays against, Croissant or whoever the hell they're playing in the French league. You know what I mean? Like, this is when they're playing a bottom level team in the French league. This is what it looks like. Look at the XG. Look at the ball possession. Look at the shots. Liverpool didn't have a shot on target. You barely saw the PSG goalkeeper who was rocking up with the golden ponytail that he's always got going on. He just wasn't there. Like, PSG there were levels. There were levels. There are levels. There continue to be levels. Liverpool has descended from what was the top level to they're not there anymore. And I think it's just as much of Liverpool descending as PSG's flying forward, man. I mean, they've been complacent a little bit in the league, and that's been a bit of a scrap for them, but they're starting to get their shit together there. PSG is just, and we're going on 2 years now, the best team in Europe. And they finally gave up on the whole let's just buy a team idea. And they, spent a ton of money and bought really good players, but they didn't just go spend $200 million on Neymar. Right? She can't really do that anymore. They got this group of players that complements each other really well. They have it feels like waves of really talented kind of outside creative players that are able to make plays. And in part, that's because they have probably the two best fullbacks in the sport. Their midfield's really good. Like, you're not poking holes in this PSG team, and they play well together. They complement each other. Right? Even Lee Kong-in coming in at the end of this game, he makes this beautiful, like, anticipation feel pass back to Dembele to create one more chance, and he fires the ball off the outside of the post. Like, they got waves of these guys that are class and like playing together. Like, you can just tell that they like playing together. I don't know if Liverpool does. Liverpool has, and this might make sense to you, it might not. This might just be a me thing. Liverpool plays the game in a very self-loathing way. I get the feeling they wake up in the morning and they look in the mirror and they go, I could lose a few pounds. You know what I mean? Like, they might be able to play at a high level, and they do. Obviously, Liverpool is one of the, I would say, look, we're in the freaking quarterfinals of the Champions League. They're one of the 16 best teams in the world, at least, depending on how you want to stack it up. But if you want to take that final step up, that final level up, there just isn't that explosive ability that PSG has, whether it is, the human Scrabble board Kvaratskhelia or Ousmane Dembele or Desiree Doué or Nuno Mendes, like all these guys that just pop up on the outside, then all of a sudden all hell's breaking loose, right? It's just so hard to defend. I think Kvaratskelia's goal was a great example where Liverpool just packed in for a while, and eventually it's just a pass and a run. And these guys are deep. These guys, they're able to move a lot, right? It's not a very stagnant setup. I obviously can't say enough nice things about PSG after this game and the way they showed Liverpool levels. But like I said, there's four teams feeling four different ways, and the way PSG is feeling is frustrated they didn't hang up like four. Totally could have, was absolutely in their ballpark. Mamardashvili did a pretty good job in goal for Liverpool. And now they got to go on the road. And if you're Liverpool, burn the tape. Burn the tape. On the road in Paris, already not easy. PSG played really well. Liverpool's going to need PSG to bring their shit back a little bit. Liverpool's going to need PSG to play worse if it's going to have a chance. But if PSG plays worse and Liverpool also plays better, there is definitely a world where Liverpool could spice this up. They're only down 2, which is where PSG definitely, they're thinking, we really should have put this away. The way Liverpool's feeling, to go through all the 4 teams and how they're feeling, Liverpool's going, could have been worse. They dominated us. That was the worst case scenario. They played really well. We played like shit. Couldn't get a hold of the ball. Didn't get a shot on target. Our playmaking players didn't take advantage of the open spaces in the counter. Whatever. Right? We got an unlucky deflection goal. But if Liverpool can just get some sort of structure together, where they're able to possess the ball for longer periods of the game, where they're able to reduce the constant pressure on their defense, where they're able to use the crowd and set pieces to try and tilt the field and make PSG play worse, make them play a little bit more conservative. Liverpool is still absolutely believing they have a chance in this, and rightfully so. But they also realize that if they run that back as a simulation 99 more times, they're probably not winning that game more than once, and that would require some serious flukage based off the chances that happened. In Liverpool, this was a worst-case scenario. It was a terrible game. Burn the tape and go back out there and feel very fortunate that you're only down 2-0. Now, the other 2-0, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. I don't think Atletico Madrid could have dreamed up a better way to do this. 2-0 at Barcelona, who, if you haven't been following, is the best team in La Liga this year in terms of the actual league. We all know Real Madrid's weirdly apathetic towards the league. They just don't care about it as much as they care about the Champions League. It's not sexy enough for them. So Barcelona's kind of starting to run away with the league a little bit. Atletico Madrid has not really been in the price range to keep up with Real Madrid and Barcelona this year. It's not one of those years. And so this is the point in the competition where you're expecting Atletico Madrid to respectfully bow out, right? Like this is just, they make it to this point, and it's kind of the same as Liverpool, where just this year, obviously Liverpool, I would say, is still a little better than Atletico Madrid, but in the same ballpark, where like this year they make it to playing a team like this, and they go, probably don't have that in the locker, right? But despite the fact that Marcus Rashford had more chances than all of Liverpool and Atletico Madrid combined in the first 40 minutes of this game, it wasn't like he was even shooting it that bad. It just, the ball would hop, skip, jump, little deflection here or there, and it just wouldn't go in. Then they get the ball in behind, and Pau Cubarsí just, honestly, this is a trend for Pau Cubarsí. It's something that I feel like they should be a little concerned about. Naturally, it was Simeone. I just wanted to make sure. Giuliano Simeone, which literally the coach's son that draws this. He makes a run in behind, and Pau Cubarsí clips him, takes him down. Pau Cubarsí is a little reckless in those really dangerous situations. He kind of always has been, and it's not something he has found a way to grow out of yet, right? It is a problem that he still is having, and he just clips, very clear, in my opinion, denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, clips the guy's leg running right across the back of him. You can't do that in this situation. He obviously trips and fouls him. Simeone is cut in behind Cubarsí and is like in on goal. So he gets a red card, and then best case scenario, the free kick directly after the red card from like 22 yards out. Julian Alvarez just blasts, just a beaut, an absolute beauty, right? And so all of a sudden, Atletico Madrid, who really hasn't sniffed much of the goal in this match, has got a man advantage and a 1-goal lead. What's really crazy about this is you're kind of expecting full-blown haram ball, which is what Atletico Madrid provided. But because Barcelona was a man down, Atletico Madrid gets this like one spell of possession where they finally start to play better. And out of that spell of possession, they just catch like a mentally fatigued Barcelona with a second goal, which is massive. This is Atletico Madrid we're talking about. Okay, heaven and earth would struggle to score 2 goals against this team if they're really digging into all their dark arts defense and haram ball tactics. Okay? Father Time and Mother Nature would have trouble kicking down that door. And now you've doubled their lead. This was a huge mental lapse from Barcelona. Then they followed it up by, of course, not being able to score the rest of the game. despite the fact that they had a good number of forays forward after they went down to 10 men, finished the game with more possession, way more shots. Remember, more than half of the game was played with Atletico Madrid up a man. But Atletico Madrid was just using that at the end of this game just to be more effective defensively. I mean, after that second goal goes in, Atletico Madrid basically goes, we think we can get through the rest of this tie without giving up 2 goals. And that's what we're going to do. And if you give us something, we'll take it, right? Obviously, they're not fully packed in, like last 2 minutes of a World Cup final packed in, but defense first, second, and third. From the time that goal goes in, it was just a little flash across the front of a defender. Shot kind of had seeing eyes to get under the leg of the defender, and Sorloth, he does this weird thing where I just feel like he hasn't played that well, but he just keeps scoring goals, which if you're going to be a center forward, do that. It's way better than playing well and never scoring, right? Like he just fought, he's a scrappy, big, prototypical center forward, Sorloth, and it wasn't a sexy goal, but he just scraps it in, with this nice run. And so Atletico Madrid, I guess I've been giving you a summary of how everybody's feeling. Atletico Madrid's feeling like they're on cloud 9. This was literally the best case scenario. I mean, they went in here trying to just survive and get to the second leg. They don't get like a chance before the red card, score instantly off the free kick, and then get a second goal on like the one time that they're really controlling the play. It's ideal. And if you're Barcelona, you got to feel rotten because they play each other all the fucking time. Barcelona knows how hard it's going to be to go to Atletico Madrid with the culture and the pride they have in their way that they play and get a couple goals. It's going to be really, really, really difficult. And going into this match, Barcelona would have figured it wasn't going to be that difficult. And that's always a really annoying spot to be in, where you got to, you got to put the Crocs in sport mode now. You got to hike up the britches and go to work, because this ain't going to be easy. I do think we're going to get a really entertaining match, though, because Barcelona is going to be trying to blow that door down with a couple of hand grenades and a bazooka. We'll see.